I'm oxytocin. The second someone wraps their arms around you, I'm already flooding your bloodstream, and your body cannot fake the difference between a real hug and a quick pat on the back. You think affection is just a nice feeling. It's actually a chemical signal released on a schedule, measured in seconds, and most people never hold still long enough to get the real dose. Here's why this matters to almost everyone reading this. Touch has quietly become rare. You scroll past 100 faces today and touch almost none of them. A text isn't a hug. A like isn't a hand on your shoulder. And the less you're touched, the less of me your body learns to expect, until connection itself starts to feel unfamiliar. You've replaced contact with content, and your nervous system never agreed to that trade. Researchers have a name for what happens next. They call it touch starvation, and it isn't a figure of speech. People who go long stretches without meaningful physical contact report higher rates of anxiety, loneliness, and even physical pain sensitivity, because the system that's supposed to regularly calm them down simply never gets switched on. Your body doesn't know the difference between choosing isolation and being denied contact against your will. Either way, I stop showing up, and everything I normally regulate starts drifting unchecked. I'm made deep in your hypothalamus, in a cluster of cells called the paraventricular nucleus. The moment skin touches skin, pressure receptors fire a signal straight to me, and I get released from your pituitary gland directly into your blood and your brain at the same time. That's rare. Most chemicals pick one lane. I run both. In your brain, I head straight for the amygdala, your fear center, and I turn its volume down. Cortisol drops, your heart rate slows. The threat your body was quietly bracing for suddenly feels smaller, but what nobody expected was that a hug lasting only 3 seconds barely touches me at all. Here's the number that changes everything. Researchers measuring my release found the real surge doesn't start until roughly 20 seconds of continuous contact. Anything shorter is just politeness. 20 seconds is where I actually start rewriting your nervous system. Most hugs end long before I ever get to work. Once I'm flowing, I don't just calm you down. I start building something. Every time I'm released with the same person, I strengthen the neural pathway that recognizes them specifically as safe. This is how bonding actually works at the cellular level, not as a metaphor, but as a literal rewiring between two nervous systems that keep choosing each other. But what nobody expected was that I don't work alone in there. I team up with your dopamine system, specifically a reward region called the nucleus accumbens. Together we do something stranger than simple bonding. We tag one specific person's touch as more valuable than anyone else's. That's why a hug from someone you love can calm you in seconds, while the exact same physical contact from a stranger barely registers. Same pressure on your skin, completely different chemical outcome, because I've already decided who counts. I'm not only working on your mood, I'm working on your organs. Studies tracking couples who hug regularly found measurably lower blood pressure and lower markers of inflammation circulating in their blood. The same markers linked to heart disease over time. A hug is not a metaphorical medicine. It is quietly, literally, cardiovascular. But what nobody expected was what I do right before an argument even starts. Researchers ran an experiment where couples hugged briefly before discussing a stressful topic together. The huggers showed a smaller spike in blood pressure and a faster recovery afterward than couples who skipped the hug entirely. I don't just repair damage after conflict, I quietly lower how much damage the conflict can do in the first place, before a single hard word gets said. I don't only need skin to do my job. Eye contact triggers me too, which most people never realize. Researchers gave volunteers a dose of me, and then had them try to read emotions just from a photo of someone's eyes. The group that received me identified subtle emotions like nervousness or interest far more accurately than the group that didn't. I'm not just a bonding chemical, I'm quietly upgrading your ability to read other people, sharpening a kind of social vision you didn't know had a dial on it. But what nobody expected was how selectively I hand out that upgrade. Because here's my dark side. The same bonding effect that makes you trust your people harder can make you suspicious of everyone else faster. Studies on trust games found that boosting me increased generosity toward in-group members while simultaneously increasing defensiveness toward outsiders. I don't create universal love. I create loyalty, and loyalty always draws a line around who's inside it. I also work on your body in ways that go far beyond your heart. I lower your sensitivity to pain, which is why a hug during a stressful moment measurably reduces how much something hurts. Women in labor release me in massive waves, not just for bonding with a newborn, but because I trigger the exact muscle contractions that deliver the baby in the first place. Milk doesn't flow without me either. I'm not a soft, secondary hormone. I'm load-bearing. There's a version of this that hospitals now take seriously enough to build entire protocols around. Premature infants placed skin to skin on a parent's bare chest, a practice doctors call kangaroo care, shows steadier heart rates, better temperature regulation, and faster weight gain than infants left in an incubator alone. Nobody is injecting me into these babies. Their bodies start producing more of me the moment contact begins, and the measurable medical outcomes follow within days. But what nobody expected was that the same 20-second rule applies here too, just quietly saving lives instead of easing an argument. Here's the fact that should genuinely surprise you. Prairie voles and meadow voles are nearly identical animals, except prairie voles have far more receptors for me in their brains. Prairie voles mate for life. Meadow voles don't bond at all. Same chemical, same species family, completely different capacity to receive me, and that single receptor difference predicts monogamy versus promiscuity almost perfectly. I am oxytocin, and I don't require a special occasion to do my job. I require 20 seconds of your actual attention, uninterrupted, skin against skin, no phone in your hand. So tell me honestly, when was the last time you held a hug long enough to actually let me work? Type your answer in the comments. If this changed how you think about a simple hug, like this video and subscribe.